What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're taking a look at the Gamerverse Spirit Spider. So let's see what we've got going on. Let's check it out. As promised, today we'll be taking a look at Spirit Spider. So let's see what we've got going on. Taking a look at the package, we are under this Gamerverse label. Spirit Spider there, he's in there, extra sets of hands. No Build-A-Figure for this wave, and these packages for me really highlight the lack of Build-A-Figure. I get it. Some people are really into the Build-A-Figure concept, some aren't. Marvel Legends series, Spirit Spider, good image of him down there at the bottom. Flip it to the back. You get this nice expanded image from the game. It's a cool suit, right? Important information down at the bottom. There's your blurb. Spirit Spider, a version of Peter Parker infused with the power of souls, uses his spirit fire suit to channel waves of ethereal energy. Flip it to this side, you get another expanded image there. Marvel Legends at the bottom, Gamerverse at the top. Let's get him out of the box. Fresh out of the box. Look, it's a cool figure to look at. I like the aesthetic of this costume. Would there be a more preferential version? Sure, but this, I feel like, knocks out two things, right? There are people who specifically want this Gamerverse stuff, and then there are others who want a version of a character for the display. Either way, it works out for me. We all know that eventually you'll get a different version of this, right? And it may be the version you want. Now, there's not a lot of difference, right? So this easily fits into any sort of comic display. Specifically for me, it's just going on a Spider-Verse shelf. So I have the room to work around anything, right? It's all about that flexibility. Now, you do get the extra hands. I already mentioned the lack of a Build-A-Figure, and I understand. Some people are fans of the Build-A-Figure concept. Others aren't, because then you have to buy an entire wave to build a figure, right? For me, it's just a little bit of fun for the hobby in collecting. I appreciate it, but I absolutely understand the counter arguments. Let's take a closer look. Moving in closer, we can get a good look at this figure. I'm always a fan of the skull aesthetic and translucent plastic, right? So that knocks two things out right there. You do get some good sort of fading between this blue and white colorway, so that does make for a good transition in the detail. I kind of dig it. You have the larger spider on the back, no peg holes back there, so appreciate that as well. One thing for me that would have benefited this figure probably would be the articulated jaw that we would get with our Ghost Rider figures, right? The skull, it kind of, I don't know, something maybe off, like maybe the cheekbones are a little wide, so it makes the skull look shorter than it feels like it should, if that makes sense. But still a really great aesthetic for this skull. That's also something that could be accomplished with an alternate head, right? I understand in a figure like this, probably not likely to get alternate heads based on what's being done here. New head, new sculpt, a little bit of extra detail for the hair, but a boy can dream. For your hands, you do get a set of fists. You get a set of your open wall crawler style hands. And you get a set of thwips. For your articulation, the head will look down to there, chin touching the upper chest, head looks back all the way to there. You get great range forward and backward, so I absolutely appreciate that. A little bit of rock in there, plenty of movement side to side, and all the way around. Arms do work all the way around. They'll go up to about there. Upper bicep cut, double jointed pinless at the elbow, nothing at your forearm, hinge at the wrist. You do get your basic ab crunch and hip swivel. Legs will kick up to about there, pretty good kick. Back to about there, out to about there. Upper thigh cut, double jointed pinless at the knee, boot cut, hinge, and swivel at the ankle. The head is on your traditional ball peg with the hinge there, which is why you get all that great back and forward motion. For comparison, I've just chosen a Spider-Man and Ghost Rider to go along here. So we're looking at the Amazing Fantasy body for Spider-Man, and then this is the retro-carded Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider, just to give you an idea of where this body for Spirit Spider is going to land. Taller than Amazing Fantasy for sure, and then just slightly shorter than your Ghost Rider figure. Alright folks, well there you have it. There is your Marvel Legends Gamerverse Spirit Spider. Now in the US this was a Walmart exclusive, and if you follow me on Instagram you understand the debacle that was. And even if you don't and you tried to pre-order this from Walmart, you may very well be familiar with said debacle, right? I pre-ordered this as soon as it went up, and they decided to cancel as they were starting to ship out and show up in stores. So I don't really understand that. I don't know. Look, I don't know the logistics and how allotments are set up, but it just makes sense if you pre-order something on day one that it may arrive. But I digress. I did get this in hand, so I'm glad to finally get it. It is a fun figure. It's a cool figure. It's a design that I enjoy. One that I was certainly looking forward to adding to my Spider-Verse shelf. I can appreciate the branching out into the Gamerverse stuff. You're always trying to find new audiences, and the gaming audience is probably a larger untapped group of folks. So why not put it out there, see how it goes. Overall, it's a decent figure, right? The limbs and joints seem to be pretty well in place. I don't find the plastic to be overly gummy, which is always a great sign. Aesthetically looks really nice. I love the transition of the blue into the white. It's got a really good fade to it. Translucent plastic all the way anytime, so definitely a fan of that. It's a figure that I think if you're looking to expand either a gaming shelf or a Spider-Verse shelf is something that you would like to add to that. And that's where I find myself, folks. So that's the 2 cents. I do appreciate you checking out the video. Of course, you can always find me on any of these socials down here. Most importantly, though, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe below. And until next time, take it easy.